Good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening on All Talk Paranormal. Tonight, my co-host is Mr. Gary Fields. Hello.
Good evening.
Oh, what was that you just did then?
I was doing that and then you cut in, so I was cut into.
I thought you were. What are you like?
Yeah, you know.
How are you doing? All right?
Yeah, all good. Couldn't be better.
How's your week going so far?
Yeah, the usual hiccups, technology hiccups, but other than that, fine. Getting around everything as usual, and again, flying through the week again, aren't we? You know, it's
day 2 already.
Yeah.
So tonight we have a guest that you may or know. I'm sure a lot of you watch his show, as do we. We have Mr. Tim Johnson from Ghosted UK, and I shall bring him on because tonight's all about him and chatting to him and get to know him. So tonight we're asking the questions rather than him. So, welcome.
Hello, welcome. No, I'm joking.
I know it must be a bit weird for you.
It's a bit odd. Yeah, I nearly fell for it there. I said, welcome to Ghost UK. I did say the welcome bit. Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for letting me join. I shall just answer the questions without asking the questions, without the questions being answered.
I know. It must be really, like I said, it must be really strange, like coming on and us asking you the questions rather than the other way around. Because I don't know where it's unlucky for you. You've interviewed myself and Jolene, and you've interviewed Gary separately as well.
Good evening.
Hi, Gary. I was going to say they haven't come back since, so I don't know if I've offended them or not. They've been ignoring me for the last 48 hours. They said, no, not having him on. No.
He's lying, by the way. He's lying.
Yes. I'm
just going to say some hellos. Hello to Irene, bless her. Valerie. Hi, Jan. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Paul. Libby. Hello to Mr. Frey. My other half. Suffering other half, I should say. He has to pull up with me. And hi to Gaynor. There are some others that haven't said hello, but hello to everyone else.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for popping along this evening. I'll let you fire away, Karen, if you've got any questions.
Well, not so much for questions, Tim. For those people that have not seen your show or don't know much about you, can you tell everybody a little bit of a background about yourself, you know, like who you are, where they can find you?
I'll put it all in an email, so I'll send it on later, to be honest with you. No. Well, just Ghost UK, a Norfolk-based paranormal team. We investigate anywhere we can possibly go, where we're allowed. Not far at the moment. At the end of the garden. Yeah, and personally, I've always been interested in the paranormal since I was young, and we, sort of, I feel I've got more of a gift as the more I've done, the more this seemed to be this gift to communicate with spirits. And I was just saying earlier, being a paranormal investigator, you've got to debunk everything and make sure it's definitely paranormal, not a squeaky door that you're blowing in the wind, or my trousers blowing in the wind.
That was a conversation before we even got on here tonight. This is a conversation we had earlier.
I was just trying to keep it nice and behave myself. I've been told to, and I will. So just the interest, in UFOs as well, and Loch Ness Monster and the Yeti, all sorts of things like that. I've always been interested in it since I was little, and I've had experience of seeing a spirit ghost when I was young, and I think, and I had witnesses to what happened, and that was a relative that passed. He'd come forward and went to show themselves to me, and
Wow.
it's all in the Richard Felix's new book apparently, and he ain't paid me yet, nothing. I didn't even get a freebie anymore. Cheap.
You have to get onto him.
And where can
Yes.
we get this? Where can we get this book, Tim?
Oh, Richard Felix is on that. Probably on either Amazon or the Pound Shop. No, I didn't know.
Oh, the pound shop.
Well, after about a year, they go down a price. So I'll pick. But yeah, no, seriously, it's been that interest for years, and I've had some such amazing experiences. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I did, I cracked myself. I was, and it plays with your head.
Yeah.
Because if you see something that shouldn't happen, your brain goes, well, how come that happened? And your brains go around into one, and you especially being young, you can't figure, what's going on. Are you having a breakdown at 10 years of age? I don't know. And until you get older, that you realise, strange things. So then that sort of got me interested more and more about investigating and stuff like that. I've been lucky that I've only seen a few ghost spirits, only a handful, not many. But the interesting thing is EVPs. You know of our EVPs,
Yeah.
and our ghosted box and things like that. We can communicate with including knocks. Not once for yes, twice for no. It's beyond belief, the evidence we've got, and it's shocking. It just still shocks me now. I just, I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is happening.
Just touching back on that, Tim, where you were saying about the disbelief and all that, and how you've evolved and turned things around from a youngster to where you are now. Is there any advice you could give anybody that's coming into the paranormal world?
Yes, I'd just say, don't go mad and go and buy every bit of equipment. You don't need it all. It's just, I think you're best to go to like events and things like that, where there's people who know what they're doing. Hopefully, a good event, and get just the experience of going around with people who know what they're doing, and see if you experience things. I think the paranormal world is about experience. If you tell a non-believer who think it's all a load of tripe, because they've probably never experienced anything, and most people who experienced it are going, wow, something going on here, and it's got me interest. But we're getting to a point now where, obviously, we were getting to a point until the lockdown.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then zoop. I just like, I always think, I've been on radio shows with all the mics are played up and I'm yapping away, and it could happen tonight, you don't know. Equipment interference, and they couldn't hear me. I had a debut on a radio show and no one could hear me because the mic just cut off and all the lights flickered in the
oh, it's gone now. I know what show that was. I remember. Whose show was that on?
It was about a harbour radio show.
Oh, was it?
Local harbour radio show. Yeah, it was only a local. It wasn't BBC One. Don't worry.
I know. I wondered because I was supposed to do just recently. Same thing happened to me. Just a few weeks ago now. Supposed to have been doing a radio show, and everything, the broadcast, I don't know what's happening. They couldn't broadcast for some reason or another, so it had to be rescheduled. It's just nothing would happen. The equipment just went crazy.
It's more scary when you get the hosts around and say to you, that's never happened before after so many years.
No,
And
because that's what they said to me, that after 4 years, it never happened before. I was thinking, oh, no, it's my fault. They won't have me back.
No, they had me back either. But it's weird. It's that thing you get. If you got, I believe you got this connection with spirit, then things will happen. You know, I think that's how we capture all the stuff. We have cameras moved, and I think that's that they seem to drawn to you, like they like if it's, you know, that they know you're open-minded and that you're willing to listen to their story, and I think that's the connection there. Now, my thing now at the moment is to get this validated by someone, I don't know, who would validate this sort of thing. But this is the thing, years ago you could get someone to validate this sort of evidence, to say this is scientifically proven here. You know, that's not faked. It's, you get like the knocks. You're seeing these, you know, hearing these knocks. Where are they coming from? And if we can get that validated by some big, I don't know, university or something, under strict, conditions, then I think that would be a big major breakthrough for the paranormal world, and just getting someone to validate it.
That's very interesting, that, Tim, as well. Where you mentioned in universities, I was part of a student's dissertation for mediumship and like the unexplained type of thing, scenarios that the ordinary person in the street doesn't come along with, experiences of having the knocks, bangs and bumps and trying to explain things. So it'd be nice in the future for me to actually get some data back off that pupil about how they've moved into the paranormal world, because they were interested, but they just needed to be of an age coming out of university to go and get into the paranormal world. So I might just contact that person and find out how they've developed with, as you say, the experience that you've had from a youngster, to see where they're up to now as well. But the university, yes, and the side of it, it is mind-blowing and speechless, some of the things that we pick up and come across as well. So has there then been any time that you've been like caught speechless or just like shocked at what you've seen and experienced?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I was speaking to half a row from Dad's Army. I don't know, it's just been on Channel 5 the other night, about the bits and pieces about their story and stuff like that. And some of the questions, I mean, luckily I had a chat with me, Darren. He's like an expert on Dad's Army. He's a fanatical, I'll say, he wouldn't mind me saying fanatical. He's mad about it. But he loves World War II, World War One, you know, memorabilia and stuff like that, with his calf. That's an amazing place. Horsey, Norfolk. I know you can't visit yet, I'm not sure. I don't know. But it's an amazing place. Anyway, he knew information that we were getting, and he was validating what we were saying. Like, he never liked making Dad's Army. He hated it.
Did he? Yeah.
Yes. So I asked that question, and I said, "Did you like it?" And we got 2 knocks. No. And we all, yeah. And also we asked him. I asked him, you know, the lost episodes. I said, "What did you think of them?"
There was 3, wasn't there, Tim? 3 lost episodes, if I
yes. Yeah, and I asked him about that, and he didn't like them. 2 knocks, no, didn't like them. But I asked him about Coronation Street. Apparently, he was in Coronation Street for a long time, and he loved that. He got a knock for that. So when I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to not only communicate, I'm trying to get intelligent answers. So then I might not speak for a minute and be quiet and ramble on a bit and see if the knocks come in between me talking. You know, if you could slightly whisper talking, you might be able to hear knocks, or there's something creaking in the wind, you know, or something. But it wasn't doing it. It was only doing it to me asking questions. And this is not the first time that's happened. This has happened, you know, a few times. It's getting more and more now. It's something that we've learned to do more of, is the knocks. We even had it on the live, only for a short time in a pub. and there was knocks in the kitchen, but it stopped after a short time. So we didn't get no further with that. And we went back there again and tried the knocks, and there nothing. So whatever the energy was there, I don't know, probably gone or whatever, it just vanished. But it seemed to be more and more. And recently was a monk. I can't, such a private investigation, I can't really say too much, but there was a monk communicating, and the people who was there at the time were crapping themselves. Trust me, they didn't like it. And I tried to explain to them, it's an experience that it does frighten you, because you can hear them, but you don't know where they're coming from. We never find really know where these knocks are coming from. So it's you got to experience it with us to see what it's all about, to be honest. And obviously we can't do that.
Yeah, at the moment, no.
There's a few questions coming there, Karen. I don't know whether you want to.
Yeah, I'm just about to go on to those. Yeah. Okay, so we've got, what is the most compelling piece of evidence that you've got on an investigation?
Oh, crikey. Oh,
You
I should imagine
EVPs earlier, so was there anything that stood out to you there, or?
EVPs, we've got so many. I think we've probably got about 10,000 EVPs.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is in a 2-year gap. So yeah, it's a lot. And you probably got another 2,000 like that are probably debunked. You know, so we don't show them. Obviously, they go in the bin,
so to speak. Yeah.
I think the best evidence is probably the knocks, because I think that's more important.
If they're happening on command, then
Yes, they always happen on demand. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say demand. I'd say polite asking.
Yeah,
because demanding is.
Yeah.
Knocks.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Nigel says, "What's the best place you've been to?"
Oh God, I should imagine it was probably the most active. Was as a private residence is the most amazing location, but you don't know about that. So I better say that's a pub, the Duke's Head Hotel in Yarmouth. That's one of the most active places in its time. That was quite amazing. Whistles, 2 headlamps on the wall. That was quite freaky. There was 2 balls of light on the wall in a cellar, and the cellar door's locked. So there's another room off the cellar. You know what I mean? So it's just pitch black, trust me. And there's 2 orbs of light, and there's no light can come in. There's no windows, nothing, because you're in the cellar. And they just went around the room for ages. But I didn't pick them up on camera. We had night vision cameras we used, because we like to have the place completely pitch black, because let them come out. We find in darkness is probably more active than bright lights. And I still say that could be because they say go into the light, and maybe they're scared of them. I don't know. That's only a guess.
It's one of those, isn't it? It's a question. You kind of started to answer this question in a way, so we're going to ask it. Do you prefer old school methods of investigating or modern kit and devices?
Oh, anything. It doesn't matter. I feel old school stuff's good. Talcum powder, compass, the old Kodak instants. Things like that are good. There's nothing wrong with them. New stuff is excellent as well. I mean, it depends that you've got to make sure when you use the equipment, you use it correctly. Never use a K2 in front of a live camera, or people's got their phones on, because that will just set it off. I've seen so many people using their phones live, and there's a K2 in front, and they're zooming in on it.
It's going off, because your phone's there and the K2's there. You've got one in one hand and one in the other, because you're filming and you've got the K. So it's the camera. The phone setting off the K2. Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's rubbish. Don't bother with it, because even if your K2 isn't going off, you can't say with a signal message coming through. Same as walkie-talkies. They'd set your K2s off and stuff like that. So you need to completely, and never put two bits of equipment together, because if you do, power from one can set the other one off. So keep them well apart. Things like that we've learned, but that's only just through learning the way we do it. When we use talcum powder and put it on the floor.
Yeah, that's a good one. Flour, something like that.
Yeah, I've done that. Black cardboard, and then even put a trigger object and put the talcum powder on a black cardboard and put the trigger object down, and then if we're in like Morecambe Winter Gardens, we'll put it in the booth by the entrance booth, and then go back later on and see somewhere where you're not going to go all night. I always find that's a good little
or a plain piece of paper and put an object on and draw around it.
Yes, and make sure the room is locked off, so so no one's going in and out of there, because that can happen. Trigger objects are good as well, but like I say, anything, and also get an object we find if you can, from the location. So as an old clock, we've grabbed an old clock that's something like 150 years old and stuck up on top of some talcum powder, and then drawn around to see if it gets moved and things like that. Because someone said the clock's always moving and stuff like that, and it does move. It goes around, but I mean actually when it's supposed to be moving, and that could be vibration outside. But we've done that and see, but apparently no, it didn't move. We've had things move, but they don't always happen on things like that.
And it's always good to have a lock-off camera on it, possibly as well.
Yes, always. We use the Boo Bear, for instance. We'll lock that off somewhere and put a camera on him and see what happens. If he get pushed over, make sure he's stable, not at an angle or anything like that, and make sure that room is completely locked off. And even got a CCTV watch in that area to make sure no one's going in there. See, people don't see all that stuff when we've had a door open upstairs and people, it's just open, but they didn't realise we've got CCTV, and that specific time when the door opened, I can tell where everyone is. There's 8 cameras covering everywhere, so I can tell that I know for sure that there's paranormal, not a gust of wind.
Yeah,
that, like no doors, windows open. We had a door open and none of our teammates didn't see it, but it was pitch black. They don't see these. We are in, when you see the green screens or our EVPs, we are in completely blackness. You cannot see in front of your eyes, trust me. You can't see a thing apart from who's holding the camera can see. But they don't realise that, and we love working in the complete darkness, because it seemed to help for some strange reason.
I'm going to go back to the questions, because we've got a few coming in now. So Libby says, is there anywhere you've been that you refuse to go back to?
Anywhere you've been? No, not at all. No, nowhere. You could, as long as I'm parachuting, I don't mind. And, bungee paranormal. No, not doing that. No.
No, you're all right.
No, nowhere.
No, he said, I get a lot of EPPs, occasionally DVPs, caught things on the SLS, words at them. What is your favourite bit of equipment? Do you use any of the new equipment? If so, what did you find quite good?
Oh, the new bits, I'd say the Ovilus is good. I like that. We've had a case, I wasn't sure of it, obviously, with equipment. That's trial and error. You take it and see what happens. We had a private investigation where it comes through on the Ovilus, dug bone, dug tire, and what was the other one? Dug bone, dug tire, and dug spoon. And what? Doug and Douglas. No, and had these 3 things that said that Doug. Now the people in the house were shocked. They went, "What?" I said, "What's that?" She said, "I can't believe that." I said, "What's that?" She said, "That just said that." I go, "Yeah, anything relevant to anything?" She said, "Yeah, my husband just dug a dug the garden over and found a tyre, a spoon, and what's the other thing I said? Tyre, spoon.
Bone.
A what? A
Bone.
bone. Oh, right. See? So that was 3 things that had said, which had just happened like the day before, which is interesting. And they actually showed me the spoon and the picture of the tyre. I mean, why'd you be digging the tyre up? I don't know. But the spoon, it was just a lovely antique spoon they found. And they were showing me this. And I was going, wow. So that validates the obvious. Is, it can be a good machine if you got the connection. That's the important thing. You got to have that connection. If you ain't going to get built diddly squat, I swear. But everyone's open to it. I think everyone's got it, but it depends if you open yourself up a bit more to it.
I think as paranormal world, having that gap of when you're asking questions as well, and you've got the Ovilus on, or you're hearing the knocks as well, you do run away with the night, and you find yourself enjoying it that much. You've got to give yourself that gap, haven't you, when you're doing little experiments like that, and sit and be quiet as well, which is quite hard for someone.
Yeah, the going off on your own sort of business, it's one of them things. But we're just lucky that we just seem to find certain rooms. I mean, we pick up, sometimes the medium and Natasha picks something up, or Annabelle used to pick something up. So we might concentrate in one of the rooms and see, and if we don't get nothing, we'll move on to the next room and so forth. Sometimes we've been that good, we've gone to a big building and we've gone to this one room straight off, and that's where we got the activity. Boom. But we've been like the Arthur Lowell situation. We've been there many times, or a few times, but we never got the knocks. We might have got the knocks in the past slightly, but that was through camera recordings, or through the recording of the camera, and we've heard the knocks when we asked, but we never hear them. So it's just one of them things. You're just there at the right time, and they're prepared to come and speak to you, and then that's when the amazing stuff happened. Then, which is, it's like this afterwards. Did that really happen? Because on the video you can see I am actually shocked. I was in shock because it was too good. It seemed to be too good, and that you only see it in the movies, not on.
Yeah.
And it shocked me. It did shock me. That still does shock me, because I keep thinking, well, if it's a spirit, is it? What? Are we supposed to be? I question myself about things. I'm a bit OCD about it. When I investigate, I'm OCD about everything. Did you just shut that door? Make sure that door's shut. I'm like a headmaster, Gary.
You got we got a couple of the questions before we lose them off the screen. It's like. So Sarah says, do you think the spirits maybe get fed up of us constantly asking them questions? Maybe a different approach will be more effective, like just including them in a conversation you may be having.
Yeah, yes, Sarah. Yeah, I definitely. God, you'll hear me rant on. You'll be going, oh God, get rid of him. He's driving me nuts. Seriously, shoot him. No, but that is, yeah. If you don't want to be. Sometimes it works different ways. Sometimes you just have a chatter. Through EVPs were captured and bits and bobs evidence. It's been through just sitting there in a little chat.
Sometimes you get more activity, you get more interactions. You find, well, we found in the past that you're actually having a conversation between yourselves, and things are going on going on in and around you, because you're not paying attention.
Yes,
things are happening.
Some people have said to me when we've shown an EVP, and they've said to me, they go, God, you lot yap. Good grief, why don't you shut up for 5 minutes so we can? But they don't realise we're having a 5-minute break, having a chat about yesterday's weather or something, or crack a joke or something. And then you listen back through the video, because everything's recording constantly, and you'll hear a little laughter one of my jokes I said, or I've had a spirit said to me "boo" before. Seriously, I have. Yeah, I never heard it, but I heard it on the camera, because I got really sort of, in the early days, you get a bit, a bit cranky. I do sometimes, but I was going, oh God, what's that over there? Oh, you know, as you do, and you build yourself up to nothing really. And I must have thought I was funny. I even asked Arthur Lowe whether we were think the funny recording this, and he laughed in a way and said, "Yeah, we think we're mad." So yeah, it's you just got to be, you know, you got to be sensible about what you do. I like peace and quiet. That's what I like. So you can hear or see anything. I like the peace. And don't go on and on and on and on about the questions. When I do EVPs, I like to leave a big, you know, pause between each question to give them a chance to answer. And never be rude and never insult them. Ask them, you know. I've even asked them, you know, things about cheese and things about wine, and things like that. You know, just have a little convo. You know, just don't talk to say, you know, how did you die or things like that. You know, it does, no. You just want to get them just to be friendly. You know, hello,
Yeah.
how are you, sort of thing. You know.
I've done the what's your favourite food or colour and like different things like that, just to see, just something different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Carol just said on there. I think, yeah, we pulled half a lager for someone in the pub. They wanted to drink apparently, so we pulled half a lager.
Duke's Head, was it in Yarmouth?
Sorry,
was it in the Duke's Head in Yarmouth?
No, that was another pub. Oh, good God, was it? Oh, good grief, I can't remember the name, but that was another pub. That's when the glass kept clinking in the bar. It was on a live that kept clinking, like ting ting ting. Yeah, it's like someone's flicking the glass like that.
Yeah.
And we've got a pill ball being hit. And you got to shoe that one, Gary, didn't I? You can hear the ball being smacked, but the ball table's not being used. It's not recorded. Stone, you know.
Relief of that sensation.
Moment.
Really. Yeah. Quick question from myself, and we'll get on to some more questions from the viewers. Is the when you say that you're interested in the UFO, isn't there a famous woods down by you that there's been a few sightings? Apparently, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Oh, yes, Vendlesham Forest. It's called. Yeah, it was a big. Is that Woodbridge? I think it's called. I can't remember if I'm wrong. Yes, yeah, that's supposed to be the big famous UFO US base at the time. And a UFO landed and took off, and yeah, that was an intro. I've read a lot on that. Someone said that was a lighthouse from the distance. I think so, but I don't buy that one. I just don't know.
Don't get many lighthouses in the forest, but have you investigated there yourself?
I haven't. I've been there once or twice before, and we were supposed to go not long ago, until the lockdown. We were supposed to go and investigate it. But it's the thing is, there's a massive place. It's like, a big forest. I know Robin Hood hanged out there because you could never find him if you tried. It's just miles and miles and of forest, and you wouldn't know where to start. And I was imagining the base is still there. I'm not sure, because that'd be interesting to get on the base or around that area to find exactly. You've got to pinpoint where all this happened. But with UFO, I'm interested in it, but it's so hard to prove anything, if you know what I mean. Very difficult.
I would say you're more drawn to a summer's night where you're out and you're just not amongst the elements. You're just out in a warm environment to stargaze, basically. I would have felt that being the better time of year.
I've seen UFOs on an investigation. Yeah, I've seen some amazing stuff. But what the distraction? What the hell's that up there? The big glow of white light. That's not anything you can think of. It can be normal, like a plane or a balloon, and I just sat there, massive, and then it just went. You're gone. Yeah, so that was on the investigation. And that's happened before. I've seen a UFO when I've been on an investigation. That's actually, this is going to be a coincidence. Interesting. But it's happened a few times actually. we used to go, we used to go for fun really at one time, just take a camera, get in the car and just go for a drive in. God knows where. I didn't know where we were. We just get lost in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes that's the interesting thing. Get lost, park up somewhere, walking across the farmer's field. And you hear what's that noise? And something over there. Listen. Don't know. What is that? It's a bloody cow, isn't it? That sort of thing, and that was the fun part of it at the time years ago. And that should still be, still a fun, But it's so. And then my girlfriend at the time, I've got many. No, I ain't really. My wife is watching. You can edit this bit, can't you?
No.
But
your secret's out now. Moving on very swiftly.
I was just saying, yeah, and we were in this car. Have you heard a place called? I think it's called Blickling Hall, with a lady. Oh, what's her blooming name? Oh, one of the queens. Oh, the one who got her head chopped off. It's called Blickling Hall. She apparently lived there for a while. Anne Boleyn, yeah, probably. Is that Anne Boleyn? I think probably. Yeah, I think. And she said we saw this white figure around near the hall, walking around, and we were like staring at it for ages, and get the camera out quickly, and then that just vanished, as it do every time we should have been ready, And then next minute I looked, she's got in the car. She got in the car. What are you doing getting in the car? She go, oh, I don't like it. And she got scared. So we got in the car again. I said, well, what did get? She go, oh, I swear I saw that. That was a white lady walking around there. She said, oh, I said, I think she's coming towards us, jokingly. She said, oh my God, let's go. I said, she said, lock. I said, should we lock the doors? Let's lock the doors. She go, yeah, lock the doors. And then she go, well, that ain't really going to help, is it? She go, what's that? I said, that's a ghost of spirit. That ain't going to really help you, is it, really? And then she grabbed what she said. They just won't make no difference. They just go through it. And things like, just having fun, and enjoying it. I mean, some stuff isn't funny. One place I investigated where it was hell. It was pretty even scary. I'm the one who keeps quiet, but behind in my
really,
yeah, I'll be sitting there going, like when the ornament, there was a Rupert Bear flying off in the shop once when we were investigating it, and made the papers and things like that, because it lifted up. It didn't just fall. You could see the footage where it lifts and then goes. If you watch the footage, it actually on the zoom-in camera, it actually lifts and then goes like that. Not straight down. That's things you look for, if something come off, well, it could have just fell off, but this was up, and that's why that got all around the world apparently. Just yeah, I don't know why. Rupert's quite famous, maybe. And we were, the thing was, I've got what I was going to say now. What was I going to say? I've lost. My brain's gone. Come back. What sense? Remind me, please. Remind me.
You were on about the ghost by the car and
seeing the spirit, and then
seeing the spirit, and it being able to move and go through things, and then you're telling us about the bear that fell off.
Right, that's good. I'm just testing that you're listening to me. Just checking you ain't nodded off.
Got notes down as well as we go.
That's a good practice. Remember that one. That was there you go. I can see Gary
tonight. I told you wouldn't.
Gary was looking at the clock, man. I swear. No, seriously. It's just strange. I mean, there's things like that you got to experience these things. I mean, that's the secret. No one can I can't tell you a lot about the paranormal because it's the end of the day. You could think
a lot undiscovered, isn't there? That's why we do it. The whole point.
You got experience, but like, oh yeah, back to that bit. Yeah, that house. That was, oh my lord, that was one of my scariest EVPs I ever recorded, and that was in Latin.
Wow.
I've had that a few times.
Oh my god, yeah, that was on the old Betamax video. Oh my god, that scared the that was
I
that,
find,
yeah,
I find
yeah.
when that happens in the Latin, that's where everything heightens up, and you're going, now that is totally off the scale. That is totally something different, and it's just like everything gets heightened again tenfold.
Oh my god, that house was it's the house I was in I think it was built 14th or 15th century, and that was the wooden beams, the thick walls. You're not allowed to decorate it or do anything without permission. That listed grade whatever 52,
Grade 2 listed or whatever, or grade 1.
grade 52 listed. That old, bit like myself. But yeah, that was freaky, Gary. That freaked me out. That did, because that didn't just a little few words. This was going on like a bit like me, went on for bloody forever. And that really freaked me. And that was a blank cassette that was recorded on complete. Obviously, if you see, they didn't say when you take a photo, take 4 or 5 pictures. If you're an investigator, if you're a normal person, you just take the one. That's the difference. And same with recordings. If you're using the old Betamax, you had to have a blank tape because you could. It's a bit like a double exposure. You can get a double recording over the same thing, and that distorts it. So yeah, that was horrible. That place. Oh, I didn't. It was. I liked it to a point, but when you get things like wine glasses at an angle in the cabinets, things keep flying off in the kitchen, and things been walking up the stairs, coming down the stairs, and all these different things. All your TVs going off and on, and lights flickering, and things. And that's just like on a daily basis, and we just go, oh, that's interesting. Oh, they must be back here today. Most people had left the house; they'd gone. That's just the norm. It's a normal day. And it never liked me recording Most Haunted. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Yeah, the early days, not the later days.
I just said that was odd. That was, and you're moving on very quickly. So we've got a question here from Tasha. Is there a piece of equipment you haven't got that you would like to try?
I haven't. No, I don't. I think. Yeah, don't let my missus hear this. And now I've got everything. I don't think I've got nothing that I don't need. Oh, there might be one thing. There might be one more. But there's a camera out there that can record temperature, anomalies of all different things at speed, and that can even register the speed.
Yeah.
The temperature, and I can't remember the bloody thing. That they must cost a fortune. I think they're on. I think it was on a program. Called Portals to Hell. I think it was Jack, Mr. Osborne, who was using it at the time. I believe.
Yeah.
I cannot get hold of. That's the only thing I've got left. I'd like to try.
I would say Jack's one of my favourites out there, to be honest, as well, for that type of thing as well.
He loves
really intrigued with work. Is there any settlements, Tim, around you that you could recommend, or do you pick up anything from the Viking days? Have you had anything, that type of stuff, or settlements that you would recommend to people to go and visit around your neck of the woods?
We have loads. We have tons. Borough Castle. We got all sorts. Norwich Castle. You've got old churches, abandoned churches. There's all sorts. Most of them are just little blobs of wall. Plus, got World War II stuff here. It's beyond the old bunkers. You go down the road, there's a bunker somewhere, and things like that. Yeah, but to be honest with you, all the places we've investigated, we don't seem to get much from these places. Like Borough Castle, I've never actually had much from there, to be honest with you. Few things, but nothing, nothing, amazing yet. It seemed to be quite quiet. I don't know why. I ain't got a clue. They don't seem to be super active.
Interesting.
And if we've been there and we ain't got nothing, then normally that's quite quiet. And I'm not showboating, but I'm, but nothing. No, nothing. I think I've seen a couple of red eyes, which could have been the old shuck in Norfolk. Every place in Norfolk and in East Anglia has had a shuck somewhere. The demon dog.
Yeah.
Everyone's
They've all had one.
We've all had something like that. The dog or something.
The white lady, the grey lady, the blue lady, the purple lady.
Yeah.
Half blue and green lady.
Normally the white or the grey comes up quite a lot, doesn't they? Teresa's got a question for all of us. She says, how do you feel about using phone apps? Any devices, equipment, or techniques you won't use? That's a good one.
Thank you for your question, Teresa. I'll let you fire away with that first, Tim.
All apps, yeah, we tried them. I try them because it's nice to try stuff. I like trying all different things. But no, I've never had any much success with apps. I can't, unless you know what they're written for and how they're done with things like that. I mean, then how can I say for definite, that they could be validated for any evidence? Because I don't know, like something got a radar on that patch. I mean, I don't know why they got radar on. I ain't got a clue. I mean, got a clue. Yeah. I think the only thing that'd be useful for a phone would be for recording, to record EVPs. I don't know. We've tried them, but I never had much. But if a spirit want to connect, whatever you're using, they will use whatever they can get their hands on, basically.
I've always found with the apps, just the simplest, something simplistic, even like the ghost box. It's like, don't concentrate on that specifically, but just put it to one side. And while you're talking, if you're doing a talking board or you've got another little experiment going on, and then if something comes through an EVP or you're doing anything like that, then you look and it ties in with what the session's about or the communication that you're having with, then yeah, that'll tie in for me. Do you know what I mean? And 5 or 6 times on the night, you would have come up or communicated with the information that Spirit's giving us. And then if that comes around and about, then yeah, we'll take that. I'll take that. Do you know what I mean? And tie it in of, a young girl or help me and that type of stuff. But again, it's keep things simplistic. Again, if you know the background of how you would make these apps, then that makes it the simplistic, the better, I always find.
Yes.
Oh,
and next one, any devices or equipment techniques you won't use?
I don't know. Any devices? No, I can't really think of any that I wouldn't use.
You've got to try everything, haven't you? Personally, I think, like even going back to the apps and stuff, for me, it's a case of, we've tried different ones. We've had times where stuff's come through on the app and come through other pieces of kit at the same time, like spirit books or whatever. And you've had the same stuff come through at the same time. We've had that before. That was at the Falstaff. So I don't think they are completely, I don't know, give them a go. It's one of those things. It's like anything. You can't guarantee it's spirit and you can't guarantee anything, regardless of what equipment you're using.
It's trial and error, and it's what you like and what you seem to be getting. Don't forget, it's the most important thing is intelligent, evidence. That's what you want. If I say to you,
here's some intelligent evidence, Tim. This is something as you just said that from Haunted Scouse. Hi. He watches a lot of our lives, bless him. We got heckled through the S box last weekend. Spirit Voice told us you're charming. Haha, responses are history and not a haunting.
Our history. Oh, yes, you will get Haunted Scouse. I like it. I like the name. You didn't get it off Gary, did you? Just Haunted. No, seriously. Yeah, no, it's we've been called. Natasha normally the one who gets all the crap. She's been called a slag, a bitch. Can I say these words?
I can't even repeat the things I've been called. Trust me, really bad.
CUNT.
And
Natasha
that's
normally,
in life, let alone paranormal.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Natasha, the Priory, right? For instance, she went there and she was saying, well, why did they use those bricks there? She couldn't understand how they used to get these certain bricks. They knocked down this wall and then built this other thing. And she's a bit, I wouldn't say gripey. She was just saying why is this happening? And she got called all sorts of, they if she said something about there's a nasty woman in this area, blah, blah, blah. I don't like her. I think she's called a bitch, and then you get the pervert spirits, what put the hand up the skirts and grab their boobs and can I feel your bum and things like that. And things like that, They mostly go for the girls, luckily.
Luckily. Cheers.
They normally give them the stick, not the men. They wouldn't dare say it to me and Gary, you see, because I think maybe, I don't know. I don't mind. They say what they like. It doesn't bother me. Take a pinch of salt.
That's an increase in the public ladies coming along to the events.
Yeah, but they normally get it in, but I don't think, it's you're gonna get it, yes, because when they're nasty and maybe rude and horrible, in life, they're possibly going to be like it, when they pass over, and they think they can still.
It's sort of saying, whatever you're like in life, you're like when you cross the path. So you're still the same person. You still got the same personality. You've all got the same traits and everything else. But you kind of can get away with a bit more, can't you?
They get what they want. I think.
That's the difference. You can get away with stuff.
Yeah.
Pauline says, is there anywhere you would love to go to that you haven't been to already?
Oh, many places.
We've all got bucket lists, haven't we?
Yeah, Egypt is one. I'd like to do Egypt, do the tombs if they gave us permission, which I'd never would. You'd have to do it. I mean, a lot of these places you go, hotels, they don't want you to be there, right? But there's nothing stopping you once you paid for your room to investigate. They can't stop you from doing that. Wink, wink. As long as you don't get in anyone's way or do a live or anything like that. But there's nothing saying you don't actually show it on Facebook that you've investigated a place. That's for your own personal thing.
Yeah.
I've come across that a few nights, Tim. You've been to a location and you go back to a hotel or you go back to a room, and there seems to be a lot going on there, different atmosphere changing and all that. Is there any location that you've been to as a hardcore investigator that you felt it was too eerie, or you felt it was just the right time to finish a session and something wasn't quite right, or you just felt uncomfortable?
Oh yes, yeah. There's been a few. Yeah, I mean, there's a place we done the old school. That was a while back. I can't say just a little while back because it was ages ago. But every time I went in this corridor, what I'd done, I went in there. There's like a corridor from the main building, and I went in there, and I heard like a bleh, like that sort of bleh, like a nasty growly sound in my logo. This is in my logo. And I'm like, oh, and I jumped, and I had the Ovilus, and I looked at the Ovilus thinking, did the Ovilus just do that? This reaction thing. But I know it was here, but I looked at my Ovilus. I don't know what this habit was. And I went, oh, God, because I looked and I thought, that wasn't the Ovilus, that was next to me, that was. And I was like startled. And then as I turned, I heard a laughter. I had a cackle. So I thought, I come back and my heart was going boom, 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 boom. And I come back in the room and I went, oh, shit. That just freaked, because when you go in somewhere and you just get a voice right in your logo, go, you from nowhere, you're going to obviously be, even for me, I'm going to crap myself, trust me.
Well, talking about crap themselves, things like that is good to go on to. Craig says, have you guys ever been involved in a possession or attachments?
Oh, who's first on that one? Me?
Yeah, you're the guest. Yeah. You always go first.
Oh, okay, right. Yes, I've seen attachments, and I've seen definitely. I think the attachment one, I feel people get them. It's weird because it's difficult to explain, and it's difficult to investigate, because sometimes if it's yourself, I've had some strange stuff, trust me, where I've had like a burn mark on me, and I was different. People said I was different for a while, and I was ill for a while as well, and I couldn't explain it. The doctor said there was nothing wrong with you, and I kept thinking, well, I don't know what it is. Am I cracking up? But that could have. I still believe that might have been a little attachment, and things like that. So you don't know. It's difficult. Even when you protect yourself fully, people don't know. I've seen a lot of these teams going out there. Well, I've heard a lot of teams going out there who do not protect themselves before and after. You open your mouth and one question, you should be protected. You protect yourself or get someone to protect you. You know what they're doing, obviously. There's so many teams doing it. They don't need protection. Well, if they don't need protection, then they're nothing. Then they're not really investigating, because if something do kick off big time, then that'll be your own fault.
And you need to know how to deal with it.
Yes.
Just going back on possessions and all that, I have had experience myself where I think the last one was 6 or 8 hours long. Again, it's not the best of things to come across, but again, we are helpers. We're out there to help and balance and things like that, and many attachments we've come across as well, haven't we, Karen?
Yeah, the last one we went for a wander, didn't we? At graveyard in Liverpool, and Gary's cousin Linda, which is on here. Surprised Gary hasn't. I'm surprised Eddie hasn't commented and said anything about that, or because he's been chatting to Linda earlier on here. But yeah, she had 4, didn't she? She had 4. She come away from there with 4. Yeah, she come away there from 4 attachments. So it was a case of myself, Gary, and Eddie to help Linda, and form a circle and do some cleansing. The holy water come out in the end.
And you could virtually see each one stepping away, couldn't you, Karen, with the energy?
Yeah.
If it was
you could feel it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah. I was going to say, I've witnessed it, and we've had people possessed and things, to a point, you have to get the vicar out and stuff like that, even gone beyond that. And I don't mean anything against religion, but sometimes even that ain't going to be enough. On certain cases, I've heard some horrendous stories where people have died from it. It's been that bad. It's quite scary that the whole personality just changed. They're not who they are anymore. They're sort of changed. It's, you've got to witness it again to see it, and then you realise they're just not the same person as they were. It's like an illness in a sense. This is a long-term thing, not just like a short-term attachment and boom, and you get rid of it and it's gone. It changes you. I had it for. I know a certain who had to quit doing investigations in because they kept getting attachments. He actually quit.
It's frightening, isn't it?
They had to quit because they were just getting ill and getting attachments after attachments after attachments, and that made them seriously lost weight, felt ill, and things like that. And like I said, please protect yourself at all times before you do a crystal or something, or get some advice. There's plenty of people to give advice out there for protection, because it's a horrible thing.
It's important. At the end of the day, it's people don't realize how important it is, do they?
Yeah.
We'll talk a bit more about that. I just want to get into the comments because we've been going for nearly an hour already, and I've keep going back through the comments because we keep missing them. Haunted Scout says, do you guys think results-wise indoor or outdoor locations are best? Some people starting out seem to think you have to be indoors. I disagree. Haunted Scouts, I also disagree. I'm just going to put that out there. I also disagree. But you do not have to be on an indoor location. Like we've just said, Gary's cousin got 4 attachments from an outdoor location. So That's my opinion. Tim, what do you think?
To make a difference if you're out or in. It depends if they're there. That whoever's there want to communicate with you.
Yeah.
Whether you're out in a plane or under the sea or whatever you want, if they're there, they want to communicate. People don't think there's plenty of spirits in the sea. You not going to say go and jump in the pool, by the way. No, unless you got your rubber rings. But there is cases of divers experience EVPs through walk. They have the communication devices to talk to each other while the deep sea diving. I've heard of people doing all rig workers do deep sea diving, getting some strange voices in the area, and apparently there is some strange things, and pilots have had it as well, getting EVPs through their communication.
There was a good friend of mine. He does diving off the Menai Straits in Anglesey, and he said he's had some bizarre experiences as well prior to going into the water, during and after as well. So again, that could be from the Anglesey itself, or it could be from going to the location before he's left there.
Irene says, sorry, going back to what we were previously talking about, Irene's asking, what do you use for protection? So she has a St. Michael pendant and a cross.
Crystal, and also we do a little, always do a little blessing before, a little saying, and a saying after we're finished. We will not start anything until we've had a blessing before and after. Even if you forget, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you forget, you can always do it at 6 o'clock in the morning. Trust me, the phone calls have been made. or you can send a blessing to people. If people disappear on you, you can still send a blessing to someone and say, well, as long as you say it, just get a lot of white light protection. Just protect yourself. Learn how to do it. Just pretend you got a big, like a white light, and there's things like that. I mean, I leave the medium side to the medium side because I'm an extra large. No,
yeah, I was waiting for that.
That's Natasha's joke. It definitely. Whatever you can think, what you believe in, really.
Yeah,
I know some people are religious. If you're religious, it helps because you believe in God and whatever religion you're from. You believe in. That's a better thing. If you ain't got religion and we don't believe in it, then that's more difficult. I think. You just
Maureen says, going on from this, Maureen says, I went on my first ghost hunt to Bowling Hall in Bradford, and a spirit attached itself to me. Jodie and her friends had to come to my house to get rid of him. Worst 3 months of my life. They never did any protection prayers at all.
Oh yes, see.
I've actually been to that Bowling Hall, so I have had experiences there as well. It is quite an interesting location.
Yeah, but it wasn't for her. She went in with an attachment after her first ever event. Did it put you off?
Yeah.
Because you're watching the show, so I'm taking it the paranormal stuff didn't put you off. Have you been on another one since? Just putting that out there to ask you, because to go on your first event and to come away with an attachment is a scary thing.
Yes. Yes, for 3 months. Good God. That's
so
why
to say,
you
3 months of her life after her first ever investigation, that is a worrying thing, big time.
They're probably drawn to you. Is it Maureen? Is it?
Yeah, Maureen. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably drawn to you. They don't see like Gary. Gary reminds me of someone like James Bond. Like Sean Connery. So if I could be, I'm not taking fun of it. I'm not taking the mickey out of Maureen seriously. I'm just, for instance, if a spirit thinks you're someone else, like a girlfriend or a relative or something, they're more drawn to you. I think that could be out. Well, I'm only guessing again. I think they're drawn to you, Maureen. So it's just coincidence that you'd just gone on your first event, and whoever was there thought, "Oh, that's my Auntie Doris standing there, or my loved one doing the wall standing there." And some resemblance to you and that person in the past, and that's probably why they were drawn to you and followed you home. If you, that's what I'm, possible.
Yeah, possible. Well, it is a possibility. She's come back and said, yes, it did put me off going. I'm still interested, but I keep it at arm's length. Oh, bless her. So she hasn't been since. Come with us. We'll look after you.
Yeah, another guinea pig.
She's not a guinea pig at all, Gary. I'll ban you that night. He was everywhere with me. He was all over me. I even saw him. Now that's got been frightening for her.
But to me, what that represents, Maureen, is you're open to receive. So you're being given an experience that many people go out there for, to have that type of experience. Not as much as the 3-month attachment or things going on. You're open to receive again. So I always find it's how you deal with it that counts, and there's people out there to help you.
Yeah. And like you said, she said Jolene went and helped her. So she was in good hands there.
I mean, the thing is, like my mum used to say, you can go away, go and get yourself a girlfriend, but don't bring her home. And I think the girl said the same thing about me. Her parents said to the girl, go with him, whatever you want to do, but don't bring him back. That's that sort of thing, It's just horrible. I'm joking about it, but it's not a funny thing, Maureen. I swear to you, I've experienced things, and it ain't nice. And it changes you for a bit, it affects you. But I think it's probably just one of those things that are just, as we say, bloody unlucky. They're just one of them things. It probably won't happen again, just one of them things that you just... Well,
it's enough to frighten you, isn't it? Especially if it's not something...
Put you off. Blooming hell, don't blame you.
It's enough to put you off. All right, guys, I'm going to have to say we're going to have to cut things short there. So, Tim, where and when can people find you on your show?
It's just further down to the left, about 2 miles around the corner. On Ghosted UK there. And we're on there. No. Well, I think who's watching probably knows anyway. I've got a bloody big sign behind me. Good God, look.
I know, Ghosted UK.
Look, there you go. But we didn't do it for the views. We only do it. If people want to watch what we do, then they do. We're not for followers and all that palaver. I don't believe in it. I don't. We don't care if people want to join and see what we do. And obviously we can't do a lot. We can't show you too much because we can't do a lot at the moment. We're stuck.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
Like everyone else. And if people want to go out and do things, that's fine. I know people are out there doing this, that, and the other. The little naughty buggers. You're on the Santa's naughty list. I know who you are. What?
Yeah, same. Let's leave it there, shall we? We can't.
Wherever they're playing, it's your mental health. It affects people.
It's true. We've been in.
If you love doing this,
so it does drive you nuts. It literally just drives you nuts. It drives you get so fed up and. You get so fed up and so annoyed and everything else. I went out on an investigation like when everybody else was allowed out and I wasn't, and I'm not. But I was like, we just went for a walk, didn't we, Gary? I was like, I've had enough and I just need to get out of the house. I just can't cope anymore. I can't stay in.
Exactly. There's no law against you trying to get you. They say you can't talk to someone, you can't go out, but good grief, there is a limit on what you can do. As long as you know everything is safe and no one's got no illness, then if you don't do it for mental health, then what you're going to do? You're going to end up cracking up. That ain't going to be no good either. So
I want to say thank you, Gary, for co-hosting. Thank you, Tim, for coming on.
Thank you very much.
It's very appreciated. Those of you that are sticking around, I've got a video that I'd like to play, which is to advertise our Festival and Explain event that we've got on, weekend event we've got on next year. Tickets are available if you're stuck for a Christmas gift. You can pay a deposit and then make subsequent to payments. So I'm just going to play that for you, and then we shall end the broadcast. So thank you, guys. It's much appreciated.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you, Tim. Pleasure to catch up.
And thank you for having us. And thanks everyone for watching. Hey, Irene and all that. I can see Robin, Carol. Quick, hello to anyone.
Thank you. And thank you, Robin, for sharing, and everybody else for sharing. It's much appreciated. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night.